Every postseason, when the lights burn brighter and the stakes rise higher, a familiar story unfolds. The stars, the usual suspects, deliver as expected. Jimmy Butler turns into a savage competitor. Nikola Jokic casually drops a triple-double. Jamal Murray catches fire. These are the playoff risers we know by name and legend. But beneath that layer of superstardom, another world exists. A world where quiet, unassuming role players suddenly erupt into headline makers. Where second-round picks outshine max contract stars. Where underdogs not only survive, they redefine themselves. This is their story. Andrew Nembhard. From backup to breakout. In 2024, the Indiana Pacers had their postseason hopes resting on the shoulders of Tyrese Haliburton. But when their floor general went down with injury, few expected the backup to step up, let alone transform. Andrew Nembhard was that backup. A second-round pick, soft-spoken, often forgotten behind Indiana's more heralded talents. But when the moment came, Nembhard didn't blink. He exploded. Against the eventual champion Boston Celtics, Nembhard didn't just fill in. He commanded. He posted gaudy numbers, dishing and scoring with the poise of a 10-year veteran. The Celtics' top 3 defense couldn't shake him. Without Haliburton drawing defensive attention, it was all on Nembhard, and he thrived. His reward? A 3-year, $60 million extension that sent shockwaves through the league. Analysts called it reactionary, risky, overconfident. But for the Pacers, it was a declaration. This guy steps up when it matters most. And in the 2025 playoffs, Nembhard proved he wasn't a one-hit wonder. Despite a dip in his regular season shooting, a jarring fall to 29% from beyond the arc, he transformed in the postseason. The slump vanished. The swagger returned. His usage rate climbed, his assists climbed, his scoring surged, and that broken jumper? Suddenly automatic. In a league where postseason legends are forged, Nembhard carved his initials deep. What he lacked in flash, he made up for in reliability. He was the anti-star who played like one when the moment arrived. Unselfish, quiet, but lethal. And in Rick Carlisle's words, he always puts the team before himself. In a sport of egos, that trait is rare. In the playoffs, it's invaluable. Derek White, Boston's secret weapon. If you only watch the Celtics during the regular season, you might not notice Derek White. He doesn't dominate the stat sheet. He doesn't have flashy handles or poster dunks. But when the postseason hits, he becomes the heartbeat of Boston's machine, a silent killer in green. Drafted as an older rookie, White had to fight for every second of NBA court time. He climbed from the depths of the Spurs' rotation, grinding through the shadows until his breakout moment in 2019. 36 points against Denver in Game 3, a performance that stunned fans and scouts alike. That was his arrival. Since then, he's only sharpened. After a trade to the Celtics in 2022, White blossomed. In a city obsessed with banners and legacy, he became the glue between the Jays, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. When they faltered, he steadied. When they shined, he amplified. Game after game, he drilled timely threes, chased opposing guards like a shadow, and stepped into the void with a quiet confidence. His most iconic moment? That last-second putback against the Heat in Game 6, a buzzer beater that nearly became the centerpiece of a historic 3-0 comeback. It wasn't just a highlight, it was a reminder. Derek White is always there when it matters most. While Tatum and Brown have their ups and downs, White is Boston's constant. He guards the best perimeter players, anchors the defense, and spaces the floor with elite efficiency. His scoring and efficiency always spike in the postseason, a rare feat for role players. But maybe he's not one anymore. Maybe he never was. Aaron Gordon. From dunk contest to playoff destroyer, when Aaron Gordon was asked years ago if he'd return to the dunk contest, he paused. "I want to be remembered for more than just a dunker," he said. At the time, many shrugged. Gordon was known for jaw-dropping aerial feats, but not much else. He was the guy who got robbed, twice. A walking YouTube reel. But in Denver, he found something greater. Gone were the wasted isolation possessions and forced post-ups from his Orlando days. In Denver, Gordon embraced a new identity. A defender, a finisher, a menace in the open court. Playing alongside, Nikola Jokic changed him. Off the ball, he soared. Around the rim, he bullied. On defense, he harassed. And in the playoffs, he became unignorable. Matchups that once would have torched him now feared him. Guards couldn't blow by. Bigs couldn't. Back him down. And while teams dared him to shoot, he punished them, hitting over 40% of his threes during multiple playoff runs. In the regular season, defenses could sag. In the playoffs, they couldn't afford to blink. Aaron Gordon isn't Denver's best player, but he's their X factor. A walking mismatch, a defensive switchblade, a postseason machine who rose not because he changed what made him special, but because he finally embraced it. Jaden McDaniels. Emotionless, relentless, unstoppable. Some players yell after dunks. Others beat their chest. Jaden McDaniels does neither. Emotionless, stoic, stone-faced, he's a ghost on the court, floating silently until it's too late. And in the playoffs, he becomes something even scarier. The Minnesota Timberwolves were ridiculed before the 2024 playoffs. Pretenders, the media called them. Overhyped, critics scoffed. But when they went up 2-0 on the defending champion Nuggets, people took notice. And when they were pushed to the brink, down 3-2, McDaniels came alive. In Game 6, he dropped 25 points. In Game 7, he torched Denver for 30. Two-way dominance from a player previously known only for defense. He didn't celebrate, he didn't flinch, he just walked back on defense. That's McDaniels' signature. No flair, no fuss, just clamps, hustle and buckets when no one expects them. He averaged 35% from three in the regular season. In the playoffs, over 41%. And it wasn't just corner threes. He began attacking closeouts, cutting off ball, slamming putbacks, and controlling the tempo. He's not Kawhi Leonard. But for flashes, brief, chilling flashes, he looks just like him. Josh Hart. Overhyped, every team has a glue guy. Few are built entirely out of it. Josh Hart is a late bloomer who didn't taste playoff basketball until 27. Hart spent years grinding through rotations in Los Angeles, New Orleans, and Portland. He was never a star, never a headliner. But when he landed in New York, everything clicked. Tom. Thibodeau saw something instantly. Grit, tenacity, effort. And in a league growing more about finesse and threes, Hart brought chaos, controlled chaos. He outworked players taller, faster, and more talented. He led the league in minutes per game, not because of talent, but because Thibs couldn't afford to take him off the floor. And when the playoffs came, Hart soared, rebounding. Like a center, guarding 1 through 4, hitting threes at a higher clip than most snipers. Hart wasn't just scrappy, he was productive. He didn't need plays run for him. He created impact in the margins, offensive boards, timely cuts, quick passes, huge shots. He was everywhere, all at once. In the 2025 postseason, he took another leap. Now he's more than just hustle. He's a legitimate offensive threat. His passing opened up. His shooting remained deadly. He forced defenders to actually guard him, and they couldn't relax for a second. Suddenly, the Knicks weren't just Jalen Brunson and a bunch of grinders. Hart became the co-anchor. Josh Hart doesn't have a bag. He doesn't need one. His weapon is effort. And in the playoffs, that's a currency most can't cash. It's easy to talk about the stars. Everyone does. But in the playoffs, where matchups define destiny and every possession is a war, it's the unexpected risers who tip the scales. These aren't just feel-good stories. They're game changers. Nembhard, a second-round pick who outdueled the champs. White, the Celtics' security blanket, the reason they stay afloat when the stars go cold. Gordon, a reinvented weapon now central to a championship machine. McDaniels, a ghost who turns into a storm when it counts most. Hart, the embodiment of hustle with a jumper and a mission. None of them were supposed to lead. But when the bright lights hit, when the pressure swells and the season hangs in the balance, they do what so many stars can't. They rise. These are your playoff risers, and they're rewriting the story of what it means to be great. So what do you think? Did any of these names surprise you? Are there playoff risers from your team who deserve recognition? Let us know in the comments below, because sometimes the brightest lights reveal the most unexpected stars. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the drama behind the game. We've got more stories coming, more rise and grind legends, more untold playoff sagas, and more insight into the players who don't just play the game, they change it.